I wanted to ask you, too, what else have we learned during the convention? I mean, you will have been watching it closely. Have there been any further hints about what a potential Trump administration 2.0 will look like? For example, we saw there was some suggestion that North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum might be heading for the cabinet. But any other hints about where that next term of a Trump administration, assuming that the Republicans win, would go?
Well, I think the hope and the indication is, this may sound snide, that it would be effective. Trump took 2 years to get going. Not all of that was his fault in his first term. Coming from the business world where people are sort of all have a profit motive, or a lot of them do, and you're all working toward the same thing, even if you disagree, that doesn't exist in government. Also, if you're leading a revolution, not only can you not turn to the Democrats who populate Washington, D.C., you couldn't even turn to the Republicans, although plenty of those sort of charlatan Republicans, for some reason, ended up in the Trump administration. As people have said, they've learned their lesson. They got religion. They're not going to repeat that. And if you look at the way the convention has been run, it wasn't a big speech last night, but Rick Grinnell, the former acting director of national intelligence, former U.S. ambassador to Germany, really reflecting that sort of, it's criticized as isolationist, but it's just non-interventionist. I think it's allegiance to allies, but not a lot of desire to have new foreign adventures. I think you're seeing a team come together here that could govern, that could learn not to make the same mistakes again. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. Trump also told Bloomberg News or Business Week that he might put Jamie Dimon in the cabinet as Treasury Secretary. You could cut out the middleman and just put Hillary Clinton there. So hopefully that was just a frivolity. So we'll see.
But I have been struck, though. There does seem to be a new change. Not just since the shooting attempt last week, but also really since I think the presidential debate last month where Joe Biden fell apart. And I thought it was absolutely fascinating the way Donald Trump very smartly stayed out of the Democrats' way so that everybody was talking about Joe Biden and nobody was talking about him or his reaction. I mean, have they learned the lesson? Have they had 4 years, I guess, to go back and look at what went wrong and understand how the media acts to know how to manage things better?
Yeah, it was an opportunity, and there's, I forget if it was James Carville or someone even older in the Democrat side who said, don't get in the way of an opponent who's sort of in the act of self-destructing. Trump has an opportunity, and I think you're right, it did start after the debate, to dial back. People know what he stands for. People are on his side. If you look at all of his big issues, the public is on his side, whether it's opposing the transgender agenda, whether it's opposing open borders, whether it's smacking China with tariffs. People are very much on his side. Anyway, he can be more fatherly, if you will. He could be the Trump of the final State of the Union address to Congress, which went over very well, where he was a little more calmer in measure, as opposed to the angry Trump of the first presidential debate in the 2020 cycle.
Christian Whiton, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.